To get 352 pounds of clean meat at home, what do you think you'd have to sacrifice? Thousands of dollars in industrial feed costs, a smelly, solid barn system, veterinary drugs, and hundreds of hours of back-breaking labor cleaning up waste every day. But what if I told you that you could turn 1,000 square feet of your backyard into a self-operating machine? No industrial feed, no electric filtration pumps, no waste cleanup. Just a closed ecosystem producing 352 pounds of fish and thousands of eggs every year. Sounds absurd and like a fairy tale about farming? But this is a real system, operating sustainably based on a deep understanding of nature's laws. This principle has existed silently for over 2,400 years, distilled from the highest-level gardening wisdom. The story began in the 7th century, when a bizarre decree from the Tang dynasty, China, banned the populace from raising carp. Instead of giving up, ingenious farmers turned pressure into motivation, inventing the first multi-layer closed-loop fish farming system, where the waste of one species becomes a feast for another. Today, natural farming experts in the U.S. have not only inherited it, but improved it into a minimalist, combat-ready formula perfectly suited for modern life. Today, we won't talk about empty theories. We will break down the sophisticated biological parameters and sustainable mechanical techniques so you can set up a food sovereignty station in your own backyard, turning 90 square meters of barren land into a protein production machine that operates perfectly without spending a penny on electricity or industrial feed. Multi-layer design. The symbiosis for survival. Principle. The biggest mistake amateur fish farmers make is turning the pond into a biological prison by stocking too densely with a single species. When you only farm one species, all nutritional needs and living spaces overlap, leading to intense competition and causing the system to collapse before you can harvest. The multi-layer system we apply here is based on the ecological segmentation principle, where each fish species is like an expert operating a link in a protein production chain. Instead of counting every single fish, look at their roles. The warrior of the surface and middle layers is tilapia. These are machines that convert solar energy into protein extremely quickly. They eat algae and tiny plankton, keeping the water clear. In a balanced ecosystem, they are like technical staff, in charge of processing primary energy from sunlight. The backbone of the pond is the bluegill. Their characteristic is resilience and an extremely good natural ability to reproduce. They play the role of sheriffs, quietly cleaning up small insects, mosquito larvae, and keeping the pond environment stable. You don't need to worry too much about how this fish population grows, because the bluegill's instinct is to self-regulate density based on the food sources available in the pond. Finally, the ruler of the bottom layer is the catfish. They are the most dedicated sanitation workers. Catfish don't care what happens on the surface. They focus on scouring the bottom mud to eat all organic debris, leftover feed, and deposits. Without catfish, these organic substances would accumulate and pollute the bottom layer, threatening the life of the entire fish population above. When these three species live together, each chooses its own work zone. There is no intense competition, no resource waste. They supplement each other. One releases what the other needs, the other eats what the first leaves behind. Your only task is to establish an initially diverse environment. Then let nature speak. When these links are connected properly, the fish pond is no longer a place where you confine livestock, but a self-operating biological community, where every individual plays a vital role in keeping the entire system clean and productive. Upper-level engine, duck and duckweed techniques. The engine operating this system consists of ducks and duckweed. Release 3 to 5 ducks, Khaki Campbell breed, 3 weeks after digging the pond to allow the ecosystem to stabilize. Place the duck coop close to the pond edge with a slatted floor, turning duck waste into nitrogen fuel that stimulates algae growth, a free food source that helps tilapia grow significantly faster. With duckweed, green gold, rope off 20% of the pond surface as a safety zone. Duckweed doubles its biomass every 48 hours, absorbing excess nitrates to clean the water and providing a 40% protein source for fish. If the water is dark green, expand the duckweed enclosure to handle the nutrients. If the water is too clear, reduce the ducks or supplement with organic fertilizer. By adjusting the duckweed area according to water color, you are managing a perfect biological control panel. Waste feeds algae, algae feeds fish, fish feeds people, and duckweed cleans the environment. Exclusive point: rebutting the stagnant pond trap. Many people fail because they fall into the stagnant pond trap, an invisible killer caused by severe oxygen deficiency at the bottom. During the heat of summer, the surface water gets scorched by the sun, becoming lighter and floating firmly on top, while the deeper water remains cold, heavy, and completely isolated. This thermal stratification completely severs the exchange of air and life. In this dead zone, decomposing duckweed and duck waste sink to the bottom, where they are broken down by anaerobic bacteria, releasing lethal toxic gases like hydrogen sulfide and methane. Your pond effectively turns into a gas chamber, suffocating the roots of your aquatic plants and slowly poisoning the fish that seek refuge in the cool depths. The solution is not more machinery, but smarter physics. Do not ever dig a flat-bottomed pond. Instead, sculpt a gentle basin slope ranging from 4 to 5 feet toward one side to encourage natural circulation. Complement this by planting tall vegetation, like cattails or reeds, along the edge of the shallow water zone to create a strategic patch of shade. This creates a brilliant thermal gradient. The contrast in temperature and pressure between the shaded, cooler zone and the sunny, hot zone forces the water to move. This continuous, circular convection current acts like a natural pump, pulling oxygen-rich surface water down to the depths and pushing toxic gases out into the atmosphere. It is the ultimate form of passive engineering. Your pond will literally breathe on its own, powered solely by the wind and the sun, keeping your ecosystem vibrant and healthy without requiring a single watt of electricity. Golden parameters of a 1,000 square foot pond. To ensure the natural convection system operates accurately, you must strictly follow the golden technical parameters. The optimal area is 1,000 square feet, for example, 30 feet by 33 feet. The depth must be strictly between 4 to 5 feet. If dug shallower than 4 feet, water temperature will fluctuate extremely. Summer heat, like a hot pot, kills beneficial bacteria. Winter easily freezes to the bottom. Conversely, if deeper than 6.5 feet, sunlight cannot penetrate to stimulate photosynthesis at the bottom, causing microorganisms to lack oxygen and enter a clinical death state. The core secret lies in the terraced bank digging technique. Absolutely do not dig steep vertical walls. Create 3 ecological steps. Step 1, 12 inches deep. Nursery zone, for bluegill to lay eggs and an area to control duckweed. Step 2, 31 inches deep. Highway, for tilapia to swim, where they receive sunlight to promote mid-level algae. Step 3, 60 inches deep. Fortress, for catfish, keeping the most stable temperature for them during harsh weather. Designing these steps not only optimizes area, but also creates thermal stratification. When the water at step 1 heats up under the sun, it creates pressure that pushes cold water from step 3 upward, inadvertently creating a natural aerator that maintains dissolved oxygen throughout the water layers. The setup cost is only about $400 to $600, mainly for high-quality HDPE waterproofing liner, a one-time investment for sustainable food sovereignty for decades. Invisible biological filter. Nitrogen cycle. Fish waste and leftover feed will decompose into ammonia, a toxin that can kill the entire fish population in just a few hours. To solve this, the system automatically activates the nitrogen cycle through 2 native bacteria groups. Nitrosomonas converts ammonia into nitrite, and Nitrobacter continues to convert them into nitrate, an excellent organic fertilizer for duckweed and aquatic plants. To operate this filter, you need to provide apartments for them by spreading a 5-centimeter layer of river stones or small gravel over the pond steps. With a massive surface area in millions of tiny pores, this gravel layer becomes a natural biological filtration system where billions of bacteria reside and work 24/7. Thanks to this structure, the pond water is always refined without spending a penny on expensive mechanical filters or toxic cleaning chemicals, ensuring a perfectly clean environment for the fish. Seasonal management and conservation techniques. To deal with harsh winters, the wooden chimney technique is a life-saving rescue. Before the pond surface freezes, throw a large, raw wooden log into the middle of the lake. When the water freezes, the expansion pressure of the ice will be absorbed by the wood's elasticity, creating microscopic gaps around the log. These gaps act as escape chimneys, pushing toxic gases accumulated at the bottom of the pond out and allowing oxygen to dissolve into the water, saving the catfish and bluegill populations hibernating at the bottom. However, you need to remember, tilapia are tropical. They will die en masse if the water temperature drops below 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Decomposing fish carcasses will cause serious pollution when spring comes. Therefore, the total harvest strategy in late autumn is mandatory. Harvest all tilapia to stockpile food for the family, leaving only catfish and bluegill, species with excellent resistance to freezing temperatures, to maintain a stable ecosystem until the following spring. Conclusion. This system is living proof of the golden rule. The laziest farmer is the one who understands nature's laws the best. You don't need harsh chemicals or complex machinery. You simply need to orchestrate the biological links. The ducks, the duckweed, the gravel beds, and the fish. By designing this, you aren't just farming. You are cultivating a resilient, self-healing environment that thrives with minimal intervention. In a world where food supply chains are increasingly fragile and grocery prices continue to soar, this 1,000 square feet oasis represents your ultimate insurance policy. It is about reclaiming your independence and teaching your family that true security comes from working with the earth, not trying to dominate it. Are you ready to stop being a passive consumer and start being a producer? Are you ready to dedicate 1,000 square feet of your backyard to absolute food sovereignty? Leave your comments below. I want to hear about your plans and the challenges you're ready to overcome. Don't forget to hit the follow button to join our community and watch the next videos. This is the future of sustainable living, and I'm honored to be your collaborator on this journey. See you again, partners.